US President Donald Trump has spoken over the phone line with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi as the two leaders have discussed a variety of issues, including the ongoing Maldivian crisis. Now, the two leaders discussed the war in Afghanistan, the political crisis in the Maldives, the plight of the Rohingya refugees from Myanmar and North Korea's nuclear program as well. Now, Trump and Narendra Modi also reportedly discussed the further steps that need to be taken for denuclearization of North Korea and agreed to strengthen security and economic cooperation ahead of the ministerial dialogue in April. All right, so this is an interesting bit of diplomacy between the two great world leaders, Donald Trump and Narendra Modi, having a chat over the phone line and discussing over a variety of issues. So the key issues that appear to have been discussed between the two leaders are the present Maldivian crisis that is unfolding in the small island nation in the Indian Ocean. The ramifications of what's playing out in Maldives are extremely significant because the person or the country which has close ties with Maldives has a naval base there, would virtually control the central part of the Indian Ocean. And it appears that China is slowly slinking its way in, and that perhaps could be one of the key issues of conversation as the two leaders have spoken over the phone line. Now, apart from this, denuclearization of North Korea has been one of the key focuses, and we also are given to understand that the two leaders have discussed the crisis of the Rohingya refugees in Myanmar. And to discuss more on this, we are joined in by my colleague Archana Solanki. Archana, what's the latest on this story?
Good morning, Saleh. Important development coming in there. US President called on Narendra Modi, Indian Prime Minister, and they discussed crucial issues. So if I could list it down for you, and as you've detailed it for the viewers already, the main thing is that both the leaders discussed about the Afghanistan situation, the South Asia strategy per se. They also reiterated their commitment to supporting Afghanistan's security and stability. Remember, in the past week, the US has intensified its airstrikes in Afghanistan, targeting Taliban revenue spots and those opium camps, which was the main source of revenue for the Taliban. Second, both leaders also discussed about the Maldives situation and the Rohingya refugee crisis. And if you read the White House statement, says that finally the two leaders agreed to strengthen security and economic cooperation as they look forward to the 2+2 ministerial dialogue between their defense and diplomatic officials in April. So that is one of the key takeaways, that in April there is going to be this 2+2 ministerial dialogue, which both countries will be looking forward to.
Right, Archana, do stay on with us. I'm told we are joined by Mr. Lalit K. Jha, who's a senior journalist joining us from Washington. Mr. Jha, this is an interesting time at which the two leaders have decided to speak to each other. One of the key issues that's been discussed is Maldives. How closely is the United States looking at what is playing out in Maldives?
I'm sorry, your voice is a little bit not clear. If you can repeat your question one more time.
Sure, Mr. Jha. My question was, the two leaders, Narendra Modi and Donald Trump, have spoken to each other over the phone line. They've discussed issues that range from the crisis in Maldives to Afghanistan and also what's happening in Myanmar. My question to you was, how closely is the United States following the crisis that is presently unfolding in the Maldives?
Yeah, you're right. They are, in fact, following the crisis in Maldives. In fact, they have been monitoring it closely. And I believe both India and the US are having talks with each other. And both are on the same page. But the conversation between the two leaders and the data that has come out has to be seen in a broader context after both the national security strategy was unveiled by President Trump and the national defense strategy was unveiled by Defense Secretary recently, in which U.S. has elevated its relationship with India and has called India as a emerging great power. And in that context, you can see how both the countries are talking to each other in a host of regional and global issues. Maldives, yes, it's definitely the most burning issue. Then they have talked about Burma, Indo-Pacific region. They talked about North Korea, Afghanistan. So you see the wide range of talks, issues they have discussed during this phone call. You can see that in the broader context of America's attempt to have a better relationship and greater relationship with India.